What's going on, Packers Nation? Welcome back to another video of Packers Latest. I am your host, Taylor Bretl, keeping you up to date on the latest news on the Green and Gold Green Bay Packers. A happy Tuesday to all of you watching out there, and a huge shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. If you want to sign up for Underdog, feel free to scan that QR code right up there. When you play your first $5, you can win $75 in bonus entries. You do not want to miss out on that deal while it lasts. We got a busy show ahead of us today. The Packers finally made a move in free agency, bringing in cornerback from the Los Angeles Chargers, Benjamin St-Juste. I'm going to break down this move and then talk about two names that the Packers are rumored to get, and then finish it off with guys that have re-signed back with the Packers. So let's start this off. The highlight of the episode, in my opinion, because the Packers actually made a move. Benjamin St-Juste signs with the Green Bay Packers on a 2-year, $10 million deal. I have a lot of notes on him because he was with the Commanders for 4 years, was with the Chargers last year on a 1-year contract, so he will be joining his third team in his 6th season in the NFL. So he is a former third-round pick to Washington. He is just 28 years old. I do kind of like that because he's got the NFL experience, but he's still a younger corner. He brings real size. He's 6'3" and 200 pounds, so a little bit bigger than Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine, who's already in this cornerback room. I also wrote here, like I just said, 6th year in the NFL. So I do like that balance. He's done with this 4-year rookie contract. He got a change of scenery going literally across the country to Los Angeles playing with the Chargers, and now he'll go back to the middle of the country and play with Green Bay. Last year with the Chargers, he was kind of more of a depth and rotation corner rather than one of the main guys. NBC reported he played about 1/3 of defensive snaps, but was also one of their top special teams contributors, which is a big note there as well. There is more to this move than just him on the defensive side of the ball. A big contributor on special teams, which we know in nearly every single part of the special teams department, the Packers do not shine. So maybe they can start getting a little bit better there. New special teams coordinator, new players like St-Juste that can bring in some positives in the special teams room. I look at this, though, Green Bay probably is not signing him to be the CB1. St-Juste, his time with the Commanders, I know Commanders fans really weren't too attached to him. They didn't think he was that great. It seemed like he had kind of a bounce back, or I could say better year in Los Angeles on that 1 year, but don't get me wrong, he didn't really start many games. I think he started just 7 of them. I could be wrong, but he played in 16. I think I got those numbers right, but nonetheless, he was more the depth rotational piece rather than the guy. Will he try to be the guy in Green Bay? Not fully sure, because Green Bay is still rumored to go after more corners than just St-Juste. So I kind of frame this move as stabilizing the cornerback room rather than maybe upgrading. Saying rather than upgrading is probably the wrong way to put it, but it's kind of just adding depth. It's adding another name. It's not, this is the guy, they're getting no one else, he's going to carry the cornerback room. I think he'll mix in right in with Nixon and Valentine. You look at his PFF grade, his overall grade in the 2025 season, he was ranked 11th out of 114 cornerbacks. Again, I know PFF, the way that they evaluate and grade players, is different than what people see on the field. His overall grade was a 75.6, which once more was 11th out of 114 cornerbacks. But again, to the point of him not playing too many snaps, his snap count was 101st out of 217 cornerbacks. So yeah, was not in there all the time. Maybe if he was in there more, his rating could have dipped a little bit, but who knows? Still will gladly take that. And he also had an interception last season as well. So it's a new move for the Packers. It's a name. It's a name that will be wearing green and gold. Feel free to leave in the comments down below if you like the move. I like it. I don't think it's a, oh my God, jaw-dropping move, but it's, hey, they got a name. He can help on special teams. He will compete with Nixon and Valentine to be one of the starting corners, and if not, he will be a comfortable piece to come off the bench, kind of give that cornerback room that was so thin because Hobbs was hurt most of the season, just give it stability. But we talk about St-Juste. He's actually on the Packers. Let's transition to a name that has been rumored to the Green Bay Packers in Tariq Woolen, the Seahawks cornerback, the Super Bowl champion, is rumored to Green Bay. He goes by Reek. I believe I put his full name, Tariq Woolen, there. Per Easton Butler on X, he put out that the Packers have been in contact with free agent cornerback Tariq Woolen since yesterday, per source. Interest in Woolen dates back to the deadline last year, with it picking up recently. There are other teams interested. He put that at the end with other teams interested, so I follow up another post on X by NFL Rumors. This says the 49ers and Packers have been in contact with Seahawks free agent cornerback Tariq Woolen. So it seems like the Packers are at the top of the talks, but again, a lot of teams interested in this kid. He just finished his 4-year rookie contract with the Seattle Seahawks, likely to be on the move out of Seattle, and the 49ers, you know, within the division with the Seahawks are interested in him as well. We know the 49ers, they've given Packers, not the most fun of times over the past couple of seasons, so maybe this is something the Packers can get them back on. So let's take a look at Woolen. What are things to know? Would he really fit with the Packers? Do you guys really want Woolen after what I shared you about him? He is a one-time Pro Bowler, but that was in his rookie year in 2022, and he's yet to get back to the Pro Bowl since. He stands at 6'4", 210 pounds, and he's really fast. So this is the big pro for me. 6'4", 210 pounds. His 40-yard dash was a 4.26. I mean, that is pretty incredible for a guy that size, and that makes him exciting because his Packers corner room, I mean, when we go back to St-Juste, he's a little bigger frame, little taller, little stronger, you know? I feel like Nixon, Valentine, kind of smaller corners. These two guys are bigger corners. That could be a difference, especially in pass breakups. His stats were down this year compared to past years, and actually, I realized with St-Juste, those 16 games played and 7 started, I got that mixed up. That was Tariq Woolen, so apologies on that, but he did play 16 games. He only started 7. A big issue why is because what he had in the penalty department. His 9 penalties, 3 of them for taunting, were tied for the 5th most among cornerbacks last season per Seattle Seahawks on SI. So I don't know. I mean, we talked about Nixon and his penalty issues. I think he had 14, which was maybe 3rd most among all cornerbacks. Tariq Woolen up there as well in the penalty issues department. Also, per Seattle Seahawks on SI, a quote from their article saying, Woolen, a 2022 5th-round pick, tied for the NFL lead with 6 interceptions and earned Pro Bowl honors as a rookie. Inconsistency has plagued Woolen since his impressive rookie campaign. He bounced back from early struggles in 2025. Seattle Seahawks general manager John Schneider recently said Woolen had a nice season after a shaky start. Former NFL agent Joe Corey wrote on CBS Sports. So kind of gives you the big picture there. Woolen, a fantastic rookie season, got his name on the map. Since then, it's been shaky, it's been inconsistent, and don't get me wrong, when you're a rookie drafted in the 5th round and you get a Pro Bowl, it's really hard to kind of top that, but still seems like shaky play from there. Per PFF, his overall grade just a 61.2, which was 61st out of 114 cornerbacks, but he did play a lot of snaps despite only starting in 7 games. He was 32nd out of the 217 cornerbacks, and he also added on an interception just like St-Juste. So again, feel free to leave in the comments down below. Would you like the Packers to get Woolen? Are you happy with just getting St-Juste and you don't think they should go for anyone? Should they draft someone even after getting St-Juste? I feel like this corner room cannot have too many names because it was definitely the shakiest, the hardest to watch part of the defense last season, and a big reason why the Packers faltered in that playoff game against the Chicago Bears. Before I get into the next point of the video, have to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor in Underdog Fantasy. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Tonight on Underdog, I'm looking at the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. Giannis did not play last game because of that calf injury yet again, but he had played in the previous couple, I believe 3 games before that, coming back from what was a longer calf injury. So I wanted to pick him, but I'm going to go away from him in case he doesn't play. I'm going to look at Bobby Portis to go higher than 10.5 points. He's been doing it off the bench. I believe he just achieved the 2nd most double-doubles off the bench in NBA history. So really cool achievement for Bobby Portis there. So I'm going to go higher than 10.5 points for Portis. Download the app today and use promo code FOOTBALLFAN to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code FOOTBALLFAN. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8 or text PMI 467-369.
I welcome you back to Packers Latest. Now let's talk about another rumor to the Green Bay Packers. This one I find a little more unlikely to land in Green Bay compared to Woolen, but still want to talk about it. His name's on the board in Eagles defensive lineman Jaylen Carter. Per NFL Talk Sports on X, they put a post out there saying the Packers have shown interest in a trade for Eagles defensive tackle Jaylen Carter, though nothing is imminent as of now, with multiple teams looking to get the deal done per league source. Following that up, multiple teams looking to get it done. Who are they? Per NFL Rumors on X, they wrote, the 49ers, of course, Packers, Bears, Seahawks, and Raiders have engaged in trade talks for Eagles' Jaylen Carter. So a lot of teams want in on this guy. This is not just the Green Bay Packers trying to get something done, and they're competing with no one. You got the 49ers, of course, they're in on everything. You got the Bears, your main division rival. You got the Seahawks, who are also in the NFC. And then you got the Raiders, who shout out to the Raiders. They are making tons of moves. They also did acquire Quay Walker wishing him the best in Las Vegas. So let's take a look at Jaylen Carter, still a very young player in the NFL, but lots to dig in on his film, on his tape, on his personality, lots about him and what he's brought to Philadelphia. So he is just 24 years old, stands at 6'3", 314 pounds. He was the number 9 overall pick a couple years back. In 2025, he had 33 tackles, 3 sacks, and 7 passes defended in 12 games, and he was a Pro Bowler. The pressure numbers matter, in my opinion. He had 41 pressures and 11 quarterback hits last season, so really able to get to the quarterback. Some impressive play from Jaylen Carter. His 2024 tape is the selling point, in my opinion, which I know you have to look at the most recent year in 2025. I know we did this with Zaire Franklin a little bit, where 2024 was his peak. We're saying 2025, maybe it dropped a tad. Jaylen Carter just really broke out in 2024 and still had a solid 2025. But in 2024, he had 42 tackles, 12 of them for loss, 4.5 sacks, 16 quarterback hits, 45 pressures. He earned second team All-Pro and was a Pro Bowler there as well. The caution point with him, though, I mean, don't get me wrong, these numbers are impressive. The caution point, kind of on field being smart. We talked about that a lot with Quay Walker, some bonehead plays. He's got a little bit of that, does Carter. So Carter only played in 12 games last season because he was battling injuries, but he also was ejected in the opening game before really even taking a defensive snap because he spit in Dak Prescott's face. And Carter's been known to have, some not smart moves, some off-field issues kind of like that while he was at Georgia, while he was with the Eagles. And does Green Bay really want to bring someone in like that? Maybe the coaches can fix that and kind of eliminate it. Because I know Quay Walker, when the Packers got him also out of Georgia, he had a lot of those issues, but I feel like in his last season, he really cleaned them up. But don't get me wrong, the bar was pretty low with the amount of issues he had within the first 2 seasons, shoving like the Lions staff member and all those things that are in the past. But on what he could bring to Green Bay, let's look at the positives. What could Carter bring to Green Bay? I said this fit makes sense because defensive line is one of Green Bay's top targets right now. I mean, there's no Rashawn Gary anymore, no Colby Wooden, no Kingsley Enagbare. Kenny Clark departed when the Packers brought in Micah Parsons. So it is a very thin defensive line room. Carter would be a huge upgrade. Imagine him and Parsons next to each other. Oh my God, it could be one of the best defensive line duos in the league. Carter would bring interior pass rush, more specifically, which is what Green Bay really needs, in my opinion. But the reality of this would be a blockbuster trade. Do the Packers really have the assets to trade for him? Probably not, but I don't know. I think it's interesting that they're rumored. I don't know if I want the Packers to get him, just kind of with the off-field issues a little bit. He's so good, don't get me wrong, but it's also they'd have to trade for him. He's not a free agent that they could sign. Packers would have to trade for him, so they'd probably have to give up picks, obviously, and maybe a player in it, like the Packers did, giving up Kenny Clark and some picks for Micah Parsons. So you got to look at it for two sides, but feel free to leave down in the comments below, would you want the Packers to get Jaylen Carter? That's going to take me into the last point of the episode, looking at how 3 players re-sign with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to rip them off pretty quick. You got 2 linebackers in Nick Neiman and Christian Welch, mainly there for special teams purposes, and then also Bo Melton, cornerback / receiver, but really just receiver with the Green Bay Packers re-signed as well. So nice to see those trio of players come back to Green Bay in an offseason that has been a lot of names departing Green Bay. Nice that they could keep 3 guys there. But that's all I got for today's episode of Packers Latest. I appreciate you all tuning in as always, and go Pack Go.